What's up, guys? I'm here with another book review. This time, Empire's End, Star Wars Aftermath Empire's End, which is the finale of the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy by Chuck Wendig. And it's very funny because when you think of Star Wars, you think, alright, this is more fantasy than sci-fi. It's funny because this book series kind of feels like the Lord of the Rings movies in a way. The first one, a group forms together, and leaves a little to be desired. The second one, the group split apart but still comes together for important scenes. It's basically flawless. And the third one, we see the group break up in a final goodbye, and it's kind of bittersweet, kind of melancholy, and that's very much how these books have felt. And I've really liked all three. Love the second one, love this one. Really enjoy the first one. And this doesn't disappoint in any way. It definitely gives an end to this group of characters: Nora, Temin, Joss, Sinjir, and it balances all the characters well and gives them all satisfying endings at the end. There are downsides to this book. The beginning of it, I feel, the first half, the group's too separated, especially with this being a final goodbye, and by the end they all get to Jakku for this final battle, which I'll get to later. And it all feels connected, and they're all together in a way, even though they're not together. They do get a scene at the end together, but the beginning it feels kind of jumbled, especially since they're adding more characters. This one, Leia's kind of a bigger character in the first half than she had been in the previous book. Mon Mothma is a point of view character, so they've added more characters into this, and it's felt a bit too jumbled, a bit too over the place for me. But after the first quarter of the book, I'd say after that they get it back on track, and it's very focused. And like I said, it all leads up to this Battle of Jakku, which I'm going to talk about first, because the Battle of Jakku is just awesome. This is the best depicted battle scene in any Star Wars material, probably including the movies. It has space battle parts, on land parts, and just the chaos of war on Jakku. And this book also just sets up Jakku as this important place beyond just, hey, Rey was here. It gives reason to why Jakku was important, and what the Empire thought of it, and what the Rebellion thinks it is. Now this is where they ended the Empire, which you can tell by the title, called Empire's End. And this really does truly show the end of the Empire. Like I said, all the characters have great moments in this. Sinjir especially kind of finds his peace finally, which we've been waiting for. Temin becomes Snap, which is what he's known as in the Force Awakens movies, and he becomes that pilot that we've been waiting to see. Other characters also get satisfying endings, especially Rey Sloane, who I think's really been the standout for this entire trilogy, especially this novel, where she's kind of fighting for the Rebellion, but mostly just fighting against Gallius Rex's Empire that he's trying to, well, I'm not going to spoil, but fighting against his view of the Empire and the future of what will eventually become the First Order. And this does also set up a good way of the First Order. One of the downsides of this book is kind of not the book's fault, more the fact that this takes place in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. That we kind of see the starts of the what the New Republic becomes, and the start of what the First Order is, but we don't really get complete answers to how that becomes that, and other things that we'd have questions for, which the second book you kind of give a pass for, because the third book's going to answer that. This one really doesn't fully answer that. It just kind of plants the seeds. But if you just look at it from the novel standpoint, that's never what the story of the novels was. It's just kind of what the expectations people put on it was. So it's not its fault. And I think the ending where they have like that breaking of the brotherhood moment at the, or fellowship, that's the word I should have used. The breaking of the fellowship at the end, where all the characters say goodbye to each other. It felt very much like the end of Lord of the Rings. That's why I mentioned that. I feel like it's detracting from the fact that we know what happens in the future, but that's not this novel's fault. Overall, this was a really well-paced novel. It did action incredibly well. It said a good goodbye to these characters that hopefully we get to say hello to again. Obviously, we get to see Temin in the actual movies fighting alongside Poe. I think he might be in the Poe Dameron comics. I haven't been keeping up with that. But hopefully, especially like Sinjir, who's been one of my favorite characters throughout this. Rey Sloane, I for sure think we'll see again. And any other ones they want to include will be great. And just that ending was just the perfect in the way that the Lord of the Rings ending was perfect, where it's like, it's bittersweet because we're saying goodbye to these characters being together, but we know these characters have stories beyond this. Will we get to hear those? the way the new canon's going, probably will. But I incredibly enjoyed this novel. I think I prefer Life Dead a bit more. That's because we got a bit more Han Solo, and Han Solo's the best. And also, it didn't have to deal with, you know, having to end the story, but this does effectively end the story in a great way. Explains Jakku in a great way, sets up the First Order in an okay way, and that battle is just amazing. If you only want to read, like, 100 pages, read that 100 pages, explain the Battle of Jakku, because it was phenomenal. And it also does politics really well. There's like I said, Mon Mothma's include more, and the way they do politics in this is very good. They've nailed politics the last couple books. Life Dead, they did it good. I hear Bloodline's really good. That's on my next Star Wars book to read after. But I might read it before Thrawn comes out, but Thrawn is probably going to be next one. But after that, Bloodline, they're super well, and Catalyst did it really good in this book. Overall, I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5. Definitely worth the read, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. I would say read the other two first, because you get attached to these characters, and that's what makes it so good. But the Battle of Jakku itself is just amazing, and you should read that. If you're not planning to read the other ones, at least read that. So, what have you thought of any of these Star Wars books that have come out? Let me know down below. If you've read this one, let me know what you thought about it, or the rest of the Aftermath trilogy. Please like, share, and subscribe as always, and I will see you next time.